The golden September sun hung low over my Crescent Meadows farmland, rows of ripe corn swaying in the breeze. It was harvest season, my busiest time, and my trusty red tractor was churning through the fields, pulling in crops for the state's agricultural program. I was in the barn, checking yields, when I heard the screech of a tow truck. Sprinting out, I saw my tractor, my lifeline, being hauled away, chained to a flatbed. Standing smugly nearby was Karen Miller, clipboard in hand, barking orders like she owned my land. Karen, the HOA tyrant who'd banned my farm stand, assaulted my waitress, and tried to control my lake, had struck again. She'd called the tow, claiming my tractor was parked illegally and ruining the community's aesthetic. What she didn't know was that Sarah, leased this entire 50-acre farmland to the state for sustainable agriculture, making it exempt from HOA rules. As the county's wildlife conservation head and Meadow Mart owner, I had the law, the land, and the community on my side. I watched, stunned, as the tow truck rumbled off, Karen waving a fake citation. This wasn't just a towed tractor. It was an attack on my livelihood and the state's food supply. My blood boiled, but a plan sparked. Karen thought she could sabotage my harvest. She was about to face a reckoning that would shock Crescent Meadows. I grabbed my phone, already filming, ready to expose her overreach and turn her stunt into a viral lesson in property rights. What happened next wasn't just me getting my tractor back. It was a masterclass in community power, legal clout, and poetic justice that left Karen speechless, the HOA humiliated, and my farmland untouchable. Crescent Meadows rallied, the state stepped in, and Karen's tow became her downfall in a way no one saw coming. Crescent Meadows was a vibrant suburb that had broken free from HOA oppression thanks to my battles against Karen Miller. Once choked by rules banning bright gardens and noisy kids, it now flourished with murals, quirky homes, and my Meadow Mart, a store and cafe that pulsed with community spirit. My 50-acre farmland, bordering the town, was a golden expanse of corn, wheat, and soybeans, leased to the state for sustainable agriculture. It was untouchable by the HOA, protected by a state contract I'd secured as the county's wildlife conservation head. I'm Sarah, the farmer, store owner, and conservationist who defeated Karen 8 times, buying Meadow Mart after a farm stand ban, turning her avocado tantrum into a win, exposing her coffee-throwing assault, stopping her fishing derby, evicting her fishing club, jailing fake HOA cops, rallying for a pilot's defiance, and protecting my waitress, Lily. My farmland was my legacy, feeding thousands through the state's program and hosting eco-tours for schools. Karen Miller, in her mid-50s, was a fading bully, her clipboard and blazers a weak mask for her obsession with control. Ousted from the HOA, jailed for assault, and shunned after countless failures, she'd resurfaced with a vendetta, targeting my tractor to disrupt my harvest. Her tow was a desperate bid to reclaim power, backed by a few HOA holdouts who still clung to her lies. Key allies included my mother, Ellen, a fierce advocate who'd rallied neighbors, Tom, my biologist friend who monitored my land's ecosystems, Linda, the councilwoman who'd backed my fights, and Lily, my waitress, now a community leader. My farmhands, local teens I'd hired, were also crucial, witnessing the tow and ready to testify. The community forum, our digital heartbeat, would amplify the fight, as always. The setting was my farmland, a rolling sea of crops under a September sky, dotted with barns, irrigation systems, and my red tractor, a 1960s John Deere, lovingly restored. The land was marked state-leased property, with signs the HOA couldn't touch, but Karen had ignored them, likely bribing a tow company with HOA funds. Her citation claimed my tractor, parked in a field, was unauthorized. It was a laughable lie, but it threatened my harvest timeline and the state supply chain. This wasn't just about a tractor. It was Karen's final assault on my life's work and Crescent Meadows' freedom. For me, it was a chance to protect my land, expose her ignorance, and strengthen our community's resolve. As I filmed the tow truck's dust trail, I knew this fight would redefine our town's legacy. Karen's tow was a gut punch. My tractor, essential for harvesting 20 acres of corn, was gone, dragged off mid-season. I filmed the scene, Karen's smirk, her fake citation, the tow truck's logo, and called Tom, who was livid. "This is state lease land," he said. "The HOA has no jurisdiction." He promised to bring rangers with legal authority. My mother, Ellen, dug up my lease contract, texting, "Karen's clueless. Let's bury her." I alerted Linda, who vowed to bring state officials to crush the HOA stunt. I confronted Karen, still on my land, waving her clipboard. "You're trespassing," I said, phone recording. "This is state property, and my tractor's legal." She scoffed. "Your junk's an eyesore. The HOA's fining you." I showed her the lease sign, stating, "The state owns this harvest. You're stealing public resources." Her face twitched, but she doubled down, claiming the HOA had community rights. A farmhand, Mia, filmed nearby, capturing Karen's lies. Neighbors arrived, alerted by my forum post. "Karen towed my tractor during harvest. This is state land. She's breaking the law." Hashtags Karen tows and hashtag Save the Harvest trended locally, with comments like, "She's insane," and "Protect Sarah's farm." Jake, my barista, live streamed from Meadow Mart, showing the lease contract. "Crescent Meadows won't let Karen win," he said, hitting 50,000 views. News vans pulled up, drawn by the viral outrage. Karen rallied her HOA cronies, a handful of loyalists waving fake citations. "This farm's a blight," she shouted, but the crowd wasn't buying it. A neighbor yelled, "You're the blight," sparking laughter. I shared the lease online, proving the land's state status. "Karen's endangering our food supply." I posted with photos of my crops. The forum surged. Neighbors posted Karen's past failures, from her fishing derby to her waitress slap, fueling hashtag Karen tows. Lily, now a community organizer, handed out flyers about the state's program, winning hearts. "Sarah's feeding thousands," she said. "Karen's just petty." Tom arrived with 2 rangers, badges gleaming, and showed the lease to the crowd. "This is a state contract violation," he said. "The HOA's liable." Karen paled, but pointed at me. "She's faking it." The rangers weren't swayed, demanding the tow company's details. I kept streaming, narrating, "Karen's stealing from the state and our community. We're getting my tractor back." Neighbors cheered, some blocking the tow truck's return path. Linda arrived with a state agriculture official, who confirmed the lease's legal weight. "Karen's actions are theft," he said, promising charges. The crowd chanted, "Harvest! Harvest!" as news filmed. The livestream hit 200,000 views, with comments like, "Sarah's a legend," and "Jail Karen." Karen tried one last lie, telling rangers the HOA approved this. But Linda shut her down, showing HOA bylaws with no land authority. The stage was set, not just to retrieve my tractor, but to crush Karen's power grab and rally Crescent Meadows around our farmland. Her tow was her biggest mistake, and what happened next would stun everyone. My farmland was a battleground. Karen stood defiant, her cronies dwindling, as rangers questioned her. The livestream hit 500,000 views, with hashtag Karen tows and hashtag Save the Harvest trending nationally. Neighbors packed the fields, waving signs. "Hands off our harvest! No more Karen!" News crews broadcast live, anchors calling it a farmer's fight against HOA overreach. The air buzzed with defiance, and I was ready to end this. Tom took charge, addressing the crowd. "This 50-acre farm is leased to the state for public food supply. Karen's tow is theft of state property." He showed yield reports, 10 tons of corn at risk, sparking gasps. "Her actions threaten thousands," he said. Neighbors shared the reports online, with comments like, "Karen's starving us." My mother handed out lease copies, explaining, "Sarah's contract protects this land. Karen's powerless." The forum surged, "Save the crops. Sarah's our hero." Karen tried to spin it, shouting, "This farm's a nuisance. The HOA's protecting aesthetics." But Ranger Daniels held up the lease, stating, "You've no jurisdiction. Return the tractor or face felony charges." Karen's face fell. She hadn't known the state's involvement. A viral tweet read, HOA Karen tows state-owned tractor. Gets schooled by farmer who leases to government. Hashtag Karen tows. National agriculture groups joined, slamming Karen's reckless interference. Linda amplified the stakes, telling reporters, Sarah's farm feeds our state. Karen's tow is an attack on our food security. She announced a council motion to fine the HOA $10,000 and ban land interference. The crowd roared, chanting farmland free. The HOA, already gutted, leaked texts disavowing Karen. She acted alone. But neighbors demanded accountability, blocking the tow company's lot with tractors in solidarity. I grabbed the megaphone, heart pounding. Karen thought she could tow my tractor and stop our harvest. But this land's state protected, and Crescent Meadows won't bend. I proposed a Harvest Unity Day to finish the corn and celebrate our strength, inviting all. The crowd cheered, volunteering to reap. I shared online, Karen's tow failed. Join us to save the harvest. The live stream hit 1 million views, with hashtag Harvest Unity trending. Comments flooded. Sarah's unstoppable. Karen's done. The tow company, pressured by rangers, returned my tractor within hours, parked sheepishly in my field. But Karen wasn't done. She accused me of bribing the state, claiming the lease was fake. Daniels shut her down, showing the contract state seal. You're facing charges for theft and trespass, he said, cuffing her. The crowd parted, phones filming her walk to the ranger truck. Jake's stream hit 2 million views, with comments like, "Bye, Karen." Harvest wins. The forum planned Harvest Unity Day, with music, reaping, and eco-talks. Lily organized kids to paint state farmland signs, while Tom tied it to my lake's blue fins, saying Sarah protects land and water. News ran headlines. Farmer foils HOA tow with state lease. The stage was set for a victory that would save my crops, bury Karen's HOA dreams, and show Crescent Meadows' power. Karen was cuffed, but what happened next would shock everyone. The farmland pulsed with energy as Karen was cuffed, her clipboard abandoned. The livestream hit 3 million views, with hashtag Karen tows and hashtag Save the Harvest trending worldwide. Neighbors filled the fields, ready to reap, as my tractor gleamed, returned unharmed. I held the megaphone, my role as conservation head and state lessee now a badge of authority, ready to seal Karen's defeat. Ranger Daniels addressed the crowd, voice firm. Karen Miller's charged with theft of state property, trespass, and contract interference. She faces up to 3 years in prison. The crowd roared, waving Harvest Strong signs. Daniels added, Sarah's lease is ironclad. This land's untouchable. Neighbors cheered, phones filming for the forum, where comments surged. Karen's finished. Sarah's our queen. Linda took the stage, commanding. Sarah's not just a farmer. She's our conservation chief, feeding thousands through this state lease. Karen's tow was an attack on us all. She announced the council's vote, a $10,000 HOA fine, a ban on land meddling, and funding for Harvest Unity Day. The crowd chanted, "Harvest! Harvest!" as kids handed me corn stalks, symbols of our win. Tom showed crop data, proving the harvest survival. Sarah saved 10 tons of corn, he said, sparking applause. I unveiled a plan for a Crescent Farmland Preserve sign, state-funded, to mark the lease's power. This land's ours, not Karen's, I said, sharing the sketch online, a tractor under a state seal. The forum erupted. Perfect. Sarah's legacy. Daniels confirmed the evidence. My lease, tow records, neighbor videos, was airtight. Karen pleaded guilty to avoid trial, facing jail and a town ban. My digital dossier, lease, videos, state letters, was handed to the press, ensuring her conviction. News ran it live. Farmer state lease crushes HOA Karen's tow. The crowd surged, music blaring, as Harvest Unity Day began with reaping. I gave a mic to Lily, who shone. This farm's our heart, she said. Thank you, Sarah. Neighbors hugged her, reaping corn in rhythm. The sign contest launched, with entries flooding the forum. This wasn't just Karen's defeat. It was Crescent Meadows' triumph, proof our land could outshine hate. As the sun set, my tractor roared, and the harvest lived. Karen's conviction was Crescent Meadows' victory. News ran headlines like State Lease Farmer Stops HOA Tractor Tow and Sarah's Harvest Defeats Karen. The live stream hit 25 million views, with hashtag KarenTows trending for weeks. Fan art of my tractor as a superhero flooded the forum, and agriculture groups invited me to speak. Talk shows called, but I stayed focused, saying this is about our crops. Harvest Unity Day was a triumph. Hundreds joined. Neighbors, kids, state officials. Reaping corn, planting cover crops, and unveiling the Crescent Farmland Preserve sign. Meadow Mart catered, and Tom led eco-tours, teaching kids about soil health. The event raised $20,000 for farm upgrades, and state leaders hailed it as a model. The forum buzzed with photos. Sarah's land shines. No more Karens. The HOA collapsed. Linda's vote fined at $10,000 and banned land grabs, with new rules requiring state oversight. Karen served a year, banned from Crescent Meadows, and moved to a city flat, reportedly arguing over parking. Don't tow like Karen became a local joke painted on barn walls. My tractor became a tourist draw, with visitors snapping photos by the sign. Meadow Mart and my farm stand soared. The cafe hosting harvest nights with corn dishes and music. Tourists flocked to Sarah's farmland, boosting sales. Neighbors brought gifts, woven baskets, corn dolls, saying I'd inspire them to protect their rights. Tom's data showed record yields, celebrated at a community feast. The digital dossier lease videos Ranger reports was studied for land rights laws, influencing policy. My mother led farm tours, calling the lease Sarah's shield. Lily mentored kids, painting eco-signs for the fields. The forum planned a Farmland Freedom Fest, with music, reaping, and eco-talks cementing our spirit. Sarah turned Karen's tow into our triumph. One post read, I hired local teens to guard the fields, giving them pride. At the fest, under a Fields Forever banner, Linda toasted, to Sarah, Ellen, and Crescent Meadows, where land and love win. Fireworks burst, kids ran, and my tractor gleamed. Karen's tow had been a threat, but we'd built a legacy. Meadow Mart, my stand, and the farmland were our fortress, proof no bully could steal our harvest. As stars shone, I knew Crescent Meadows would always stand tall, free, and fertile.